How many members of your family were destroyed by Nazis? And
but I don't need to have this experience in order to understand and sympathize with your point of view.
You can never empathize. You just don't understand. And you will never understand.
Okay, then
I can explain why.
Okay.
Because you're living in a very pure society where it's where there are no killings, where there are no mass murders. What do you know about modern day Ukraine? Have you ever heard about independent journalism there? Have you ever heard about Alice Buzina, who has been killed, and his killers were found, but they were never punished because they were Nazis? Have you ever heard about people that suddenly disappeared? Do you know how many priests are in jail right now? Have you asked whatever happened with Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine? Have you ever asked yourself what happened with the political opposition in Ukraine? Have you asked yourself why people flew out of Ukraine and it started in 2014? Have you asked yourself who killed those people in Odessa? Have you asked yourself why did they start bombarding Donbass? They just didn't want to believe that Shukhevich and Bandera are national heroes of theirs. Have you ever asked questions why Ukrainians are fighting those bastards? Why so many Ukrainians decided to fight against Zelensky? Have you asked this question yourself? Why Zelensky betrayed Russian language? Why he betrayed his grandfather? He used to come to the cemetery to kneel in front of his grave. No more. Don't call him Jew. He is Musser. He is a betrayal of our nation.
Can I ask you, what then?
And let me remind you, you wanted to ask me about why we're moving not fast enough and all the stuff about the war.
Yeah, sure. We will come to that immediately. Sorry for taking your time so long. But one final thing on this topic, because it's important, and I thank you for your arguments. Denazification, which was a goal. What does it concretely mean in that context? I mean, what does it mean? You want to put all them into a re-education camp? Or?
Okay, you see, that's all started with you fucking Europeans hypocrites. When suddenly decided that Stalin and Hitler are basically equal, and that Soviet Union is the same evil as Nazi Germany. And all of you little motherfuckers are just suffered because of those two tyrants that had this awful war in Europe. And you forgot about your betrayals, you forgot about how you actually... You grabbed all the property of Jews that were killed. There's great book.
Denazification. What does it mean concretely?
And then suddenly you decided not to see those little acts that came into the Ukrainian legal system. Denazification means a couple of laws that has to be adopted. First of all, Ukraine has to come back to its initial constitution and fundamental documents. And in their documents, they have to write down the rights of Russian language, the rights of religious communities, the ban of Nazi ideology. Basically, they have to come back to the decision of the Nuremberg trial.
Would Russia do a Nuremberg trial in Ukraine for denazification?
I'm not the one to answer this question. I have no idea.
Okay, let's go to the other thing, which I didn't ask you in the first session. You're leaving tomorrow very early, so thanks again for your time. You're leaving again to the front. You're getting up at what time? In the morning, you're flying over. What do you expect to see there?
The truth. Great Russian heroes fighting for the motherland, and for Russians that are not willing to live under Ukrainian Nazis, that want to speak the mother tongue Russian language that is prohibited in Ukraine, and that Ukrainians, when they did it, Europeans never said a word. They'd want to go to the churches of their choice, and not the one that Ukrainians decided to allow and others to ban, where they want to follow the roots of their fathers, the great warriors of the Great Patriotic War, and not the Nazi supporters and admirers.